campaign is going to be very successful and is going to be not only successful, but in the process of benefiting investors and things like that, but impacting the lives of millions of people while doing so. So this is the whole concept of Purpose Black. As I told you, I indicated to you how it's going to be, is going to be structured, what it's going to look like, and the various components of this very marvelous project and things like that. And the next step is how we're going to put it into action. So in order to get things rolling and moving, what we did is we've come up with a campaign. The idea is perfect, the idea is beautiful, but thinking of a beautiful idea is not going to take us anywhere. So we have to put it into action. So essentially what we did is, okay, to get it going, we need to mobilize people. So in order to mobilize people, we've come up with a campaign. And that campaign is called Let's Work Together, or in Amharic, Abran Nisra campaign. So the goal and the objective of the Abran Nisra campaign is, first of all, to raise the 10 billion birr, Ethiopian birr. And what does this 10 billion birr used for? For these 4 activities. We're going to have, based on the model that I showed you earlier, we're going to have, a chain of retail distribution. And the name of that distribution is called Kagabareo, because this is for, for the farmers, from the farmers. And we want to take that label and, globalize that label. So it's called Kagabareo. So 5 billion birr of the 10 billion that we're going to raise is going to be allocated for the retail distribution. And 3 billion birr is going to be allocated for the agro-processing complex. 500 million birr is going to be allocated for the PurposeBlack marketplace. And 1.5 billion birr is going to be allocated for the farming projects. So that's how the 10 billion birr is going to be distributed. So the target and the goal of the campaign, the Abran Nisra campaign, is to mobilize people. First of all, to bring, remember, working together, remember inclusivity and things like that. And it's when we come together that we're going to be strong. So that's the whole idea, that's the whole concept. So it's not like we're talking about it or we're just envisioning it, but we're putting it into action. So that's what Abran Nisra campaign is all about. So as you can imagine, as I showed you earlier, I told you earlier, we're going to have a chain of retail and distribution channels that's going to be distributed all over the country. So essentially what we did is we're going to have the center, which is going to be in Addis. Here in Addis, we're going to have 5 hypermarkets that we're going to build. And then that would be linked up with 10 cities that we have identified, which are in the various regions all over the country. And we're going to have 1,000 small, distribution centers that are going to be spread all around the country. So this is how it's going to be, this is how it's designed. Sorry, my battery is running out. Let me charge it before I run out. Where is my cable? Oh my God, where is it? My apologies. Okay, there we are. So essentially with retail distribution, as I indicated to you, we have 5 markets. We have 10 medium supermarkets in those 10 cities that I showed you earlier. And we have 1,000 micro convenience stores. So in terms of where we are with regards to PurposeBlack Ethiopia, what we have done so far is we have secured the registration and license, and we have 108 founders who've contributed seed capital for this initiative. We have secured an office, and that has been built out, and then we have a team which has been hired. We've developed the architectural concept for our project, and now what we are left off is with the IPO, where we're going to start issuing shares, selling shares for the public. So with regards to the distribution channel, I indicated to you that's going to be named Kagabareo, the farmer. So this is what the logo is going to look like. So with regards to the design, this is what our hypermarket is going to look like. We're going to have 5 of these in around Addis Ababa. So essentially, the idea is they would serve as a distribution platform, as well as we're going to have big warehouses that would serve as distribution, as well as receiving warehouses. We're going to have the 10 supermarkets are going to look like this. Is the design of the 10 supermarkets, and the small 1,000 retail channels are going to look like this one. With regards to the value chain corporation, this is a logo for the value chain corporation. So the agro-processing complex is going to look like this one. So within the agro-processing complex, we're going to have 50 factories that will be dealing or processing the agricultural products. So this is what's going to look like, and definitely the other one is going to be the media. We talked about the media, and we're going to have a big media center. So with regards to the timelines, essentially going forward, June 19, we're going to have a campaign launch. We're going to have a press conference in Addis. At the press conference, we're going to officially launch, announce that we're going to be soon in July 24. We're going to be selling, shares, and then announce, the launching of PurposeBlack Ethiopia. We'll be also announcing the launching of the diaspora investment campaign, where you guys are going to be working, and we're going to be announcing the launching of PurposeBlack Africa. In fact, that day, we will start announcing the selling, the commencement of the sale of shares for PurposeBlack Africa. So we'll be doing a lot of things on June 19. We're preparing for that one. And July 24 is going to be the IPO for PurposeBlack Ethiopia, where we'll commence selling shares for PurposeBlack Ethiopia to the public. And the third timeline is January 1, 2022, whereby we'll be launching the rent and launch. So essentially what's going to happen is when we, July 24, when we start, the IPO, we will definitely be collecting money. But as you can imagine, between collecting the money and then, acquiring or, land and going through all the bureaucratic process of, the design and the building, the construction, the approvals, and all sorts of things, it takes time, 3 to 4 years to complete the building and then start, our activities. So we don't want to park that money and just waste time. So essentially what we have to do is in between, to transition from raising the money and then building our own buildings and then commencing operation, what we opted to do is rent warehouses and rent supermarkets and so forth, and launch by renting. And in fact, that will help us also to test the waters and then do the feasibility in certain areas and so forth. And then it will also help us to learn and build the system. So that way, we said that immediately, in fact, we have already started identifying warehouses and then developing the system and so forth. So immediately after the launching, we will be investing our money, renting, and starting the business. And while doing so, in the meantime, we will start building our own facility. So these are the timelines that we have.